welcome back to the regular exclusive podcast. And we got a trailer that came out. We've heard about it, but now we know we're real excited for it. It's been 26 years since we got the first scary movie parody with the Wayans brothers, and they're coming back. The brothers are back together, and we're getting Scary Movie. It's not labeled Scary Movie 6. It's just called Scary Movie, but
They're doing the same thing that Scream 5 technically did, and like Halloween and all that. So
mhm.
they're right on. Jason, we've talked about how we were like, we need this to happen because we literally just need a new phase of horror like themes because trauma is so overdone right now. And fucking yes, because this trailer has delivered, I think, so much of making fun of trauma horror. It's like I feel so confident that we're going to get a whole new genre of horror after this, or at least a new trend.
They got so much to catch up on. And like there's so many references in this. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's been the last scary movie, Scary Movie 5, which I don't even think I ever saw.
That doesn't count.
But like that came out in 2013. So it's
Hmm.
been 13 years since that. And I remember Scary Movie 4. Like when we were growing up, we got a scary movie like every couple years. And they were all hilarious. I mean, 1 and 2 was with the Wayans, and
And those
those
are
were,
the ultimate.
and then 3 and 4, the Wayans weren't a part of it.
Yeah, because
But
fuck the Weinsteins for moving forward without them. Because apparently, I just read this, but they offered them less pay for the third one, like which was what they got paid for the first movie after the second one was successful. So they're like, no, so they wouldn't take a pay cut. And then they were like, well, we're stealing your idea and moving on without you. So they like went on with their pitch, and then that's how they moved with like that's why they had a totally different team behind Scream 3 or sorry, Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4. And they're like PG-13. So it's like they kind of changed the franchise. But I will say, both of those movies are still hilarious and great. Like they're not bad,
yeah,
but they're just not the Wayans.
you and I are big fans, and you can tell that the Wayans like aren't in part of it, but there's still some really funny parts in it. Like
Exactly.
big
It's a little
fans of it.
toned. Yeah, they're toned down, but like the first two are like the ones I probably watched the most as kids. And like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer from the first scary movie. It's like those were the two movies that like I had seen horror movies when I was younger that like so I knew the references by already. But like Nolan was just saying like he watched Scary Movie before he watched all the movies that they were parodying because he was like this is like the safe space to watch it, right? And so I was like, that's hilarious. Cause then like you go back and you're like, oh yeah, like they were parodying some crazy shit back then. But now it's like so much, it's just ripe for them to come back. And I'm so happy that they have like the original, like all the people from the original movie and from the second movie. They've got fucking all the character. It's like just the references are going to be, it's crazy because now they can like parody their own stuff. It's like, come full circle. And to prove my point, the top comment on Reddit was like literally when Scary Movie came out, it's like I was playing Pokemon Red while the U.S. is at war in the Middle East, and like Scary Movie came out, and it's like now it's 2026. I'm playing Pokemon Fire Red while the U.S. is at war in the Middle East, and a new Scary Movie is out. It's like, good fucking god, we've come back. It's all here again, but now the world's worse. But however, Scary Movie 6. After watching the first trailer, I want to know your initial thoughts because I felt like we were both hyped, but it's like, did they still got it? I was pretty positive that they would, but like I feel really confident after the trailer. What about you?
The trailer is really funny. I'm very excited. The funny thing about the scary movies is that it's like each movie kind of focuses on like one main thing that they're parodying, and then they throw in little things of other movies throughout. But this trailer was packed with so many references. It's like,
Hmm.
oh man, they are getting a full like 15 years worth of horror movies in just the trailer. Like we saw Hard Eyes, we, we
Yeah,
saw.
which is crazy because I was like, dude, Hard Eyes, that's like a deep, not total like, super popular yet, but and new, but like I'm so hyped that it
That we
like
got a
people
weapons reference.
we
Like
got
they're
weapons already.
going
We got
super current. Like
Terrifier 3, Smile, Get Out, Long Legs, which love to see it
yeah,
because they have the guy from the second movie with Mask, take my
yeah.
strong hand or take my little hand. Um, and he's him as Long Legs. I was like, when I just rewatched all the scary movies, because this like the trailer got me so hyped, but I was like, you could almost like take his character from that's Chris Elliott, I think is the actor from Scary Movie 2 with the butler. And that's like almost like you could tell me that Nick Cage based Long Legs a little bit on that, and I would
Yeah,
maybe believe you. So I kind of feel like that's just so perfect. And then, like Sinners, that whole thing was great, and especially because they're like come in and do some half gay shit, and then like probably if you saw this in the theater, I imagine the whole theater erupted when Ray comes on the screen, like why only half gay? I
yeah.
was like, that was probably the ultimate moment of the trailer. Like all of the, there were so many good ones, but like Ray with the why only half gay was
Yeah.
just perfection. I can't wait for all that. Like the Ray fucked me. Also, really enjoyed the joke about Tuesday instead of Wednesday,
Yeah.
which was cute. But
Uh,
like the dancing Megan and then revealing it to be Ghostface was great because it's like going back to the original scary movie, which again is referencing itself. It's just really genius. I love it.
and the fact that like Scream is still relevant. Like the
Yeah.
newest Scream just came out, and so like making fun of Ghostface still works. Like
I don't, there was a, so the ending on the trailer that you see like on YouTube is different than the one that I originally saw. Cause like Marlon Wayans like literally went to theaters and like fucking leaked his own trailer, like recording parts of it and like putting it online. Cause he was like, I'm just so hyped to like see people's reaction. But the original ending of the trailer was like, they're like, they're talking about like well you can't have a Halloween without Jamie Lee and you can't have you can't have a Scream without Nev Campbell, like what would you even call that? And then like Shorty goes Scream 6. Yeah. And it's like they're even referencing that. I just love it. It just feels like this is exactly what we need in this dark times that we live in. And first off, going on with like seeing Regina Hall and Anna Faris back and seeing that they're turning Cindy into like fucking Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween is so good. Like just gonna be perfection. I thought it was interesting that for Brenda they went with the Ma route. Like I don't know if you've heard of that horror movie Ma. That's like her the
I
bowl
have
cut
heard of it.
haircut.
Yeah. Oh,
Octavia Spencer.
I didn't realize that was the reference.
I need to watch that movie. I never watched it, but I just know that she's like what, like she tries to be like a cool mom or something, or cool like adult woman for like a
Yeah.
sorority or something, and then starts getting creepy and weird. I have no idea, but like I'm like I guess I need to watch that. There's gonna be. I feel like I need to know all the references when I see this movie. So that's like the only one I was like that's referencing something I don't know, but everything else I'm like oh yes, this feels so good right now. Like I know it's just like total nostalgia is hitting me and I'm probably biased, but I don't care. It feels great.
Yeah. It's what we need right now, you
It's
know?
all we need right now. This is the only thing. Oh, also great use of the substance and calling it the stuff.
Oh yeah.
That was really, really good. And then just like also Terrifier 3. I love the fact that like the little bit of it was not even that different from the actual Terrifier 3. Like when
Yeah.
he's like handing out body parts like to kids, it's like that's basically, I mean, he hands that out and bombs. Like that's not even that far off, you
Yeah.
know? But all in all, just like all the cast, Doofy, Officer Doofy is back. Like Gale Hailstorm, I'm so hyped.
Well, and I mean, it's going to be even better for this movie if Sinners wins a bunch of awards at the Oscars because they have bits in there on about
Yep.
Sinners. So
Oh
which
yeah.
Sinners after the Actors Awards uh
Huge surge.
seems to be on the come up. Like
Yeah.
everyone's been
Hey, I'm
talking
all
about
for it.
everything else, and now people are like, you know, that Sinners has a lot of
Yeah.
good things in it.
Yeah, I know. We've only been saying it fucking all year. I love all the other movies and I will like I love one battle after another. But Sinners is the movie that made me feel the most things this year. And I
Hmm.
feel like it's also just the most impressive overall. So That's all I gotta say about Scary Movie 6. No, I'm just kidding. But
Also,
love
we
the
want
fact
a
that
horror
they're
movie to win.
yes, we want a horror movie to win. And if not, then maybe they'll nominate someone from Scary Movie 6 the next year at the Oscars.
There we go.
Maybe Anna Faris finally gets her due, or maybe even Regina Hall for Brenda, because those two characters are so iconic. I know it'll
Can
never happen, but let me
can
have
you
this.
imagine?
I mean, they nominated fucking Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder. So it's not totally like out there, you know, they've done it before. It's been a while, but hey, Scary Movie 6 might just be the best reviewed film of the year. We don't know.
Well, we can hope. But
Yes.
let's take a little break and then get into Ready or Not.
I can't believe that in half an hour, I will be a part of the Ladomus Gaming Dynasty Empire.
Dominion. We prefer Dominion.
I honestly can't wait to be a part of your family.
There's just one more thing. And then you are officially part of the family. So, at midnight, you have to play a game.
Why
It's just something we do when someone new joins the family.
a game? What game? Hide and seek? Are we really gonna play that?
Well, the rules are simple. You can hide anywhere. We then try to find you
So there's no way for me to win, right?
and stay hidden until dawn.
No, thank you.
Good luck.
What the hell is this? How old is this thing?
I know you're in here.
Oh, Jesus. You shot the maid.
Does she look like she's wearing a giant white wedding dress, Emily?
Holy shit!
I had to play along so that I can get you out.
It's insane.
They think they have to kill you before sunrise, or something very bad will happen to the family.
If we don't find her and perform the ritual, we're all dead.
Found her.
God damn it! Emily!
I don't know what I'm doing!
And today's video is called Getting to Know Your Crossbow.
I forgot my gun.
Why don't you just use mine?
Mr. Ladomus, I just saw her running.
Oh my God!
You're just another sacrifice. Do you think this is a fucking game?
Yes, hide and seek. Remember? You wanted to get married.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ready or Not. Here we come because we're going to talk about Ready or Not. I don't know. That
was great.
Yeah, it's just playing around with it, but
It was perfect. Plus, that's the name of the sequel. So nice drop. Because I'm just glad that after like, you know, the Now You See Me movies, I feel like they totally fucked up like the
it took
the
them
titles.
3 movies to
Now
do
You Don't.
here it comes. Yeah. Now I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So
heard
they
I heard the newest one sucked. So
yeah. So it's like it's pointless. Whereas Ready or Not, they just jumped right into it with Ready or Not, Here I Come. They just know exactly what they're doing. And I love that. I mean, they had no movies in between. They just started this off. And so I'm just really proud to say that they nailed the sequel title because not every movie does it.
a lot of them don't have the balls.
Yeah.
But
Or the brains.
But yeah, so this movie came out in 2019, and also like I looked up 2019 was a banger year for horror movies. Like Us, Haunt, Midsummer, as you like to say.
Thank you. I mean, if we're going to host a podcast, let's speak properly.
Doctor Sleep, like there was some banger horror movies. It Chapter 2, so like 2019 rocked.
Yeah, honestly. And I will say this movie might be like the ultimate, like for me, of like I knew nothing about it. I had seen the trailers, like, or the trailer, but like I don't know if I had looked it up like my own. I think I just saw it like on TV or in theaters and was like, that looks dumb. Because I was like, this looks so dumb. Like, so they get married and then the whole family is trying to hunt her. Like, that sounds stupid. And this is probably my number one movie of like, boy, was I wrong. Like just
Yeah.
from like the pitch of the concept. And back, I feel like when I wasn't really as into horror, or like I was still, you know, a newbie in the horror world
Hmm.
when I first watched this, but I just fell in love with it immediately. So it's just for me, I just have to call that out immediately. It's probably the only movie I could think of where like I just specifically remember how much I was like going in ready to hate it. Like I
Well,
just turned it on when it was on HBO one day.
yeah. Well, and like the trailer and like the initial like setup of it doesn't feel like it's gonna be like a fun horror movie. Like it
Yeah.
but like this movie is a blast. It's fun in the same way of like Happy Death Day is fun, or The Menu. Like where
Very
it's
much so.
like there's scary moments in this, but also like there's so many jokes riddled throughout the movie, and they're not just like cheap throwaway jokes. Like they are actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
And I would say like it's more like it's a very gory, like fun action movie almost
yeah.
is what you could say, instead of like, because it's so fun, and it's also a wonderful satire of the
Yeah.
rich. And every day this gets more and more real. And honestly, like this movie becomes less unbelievable every day that like we hear more about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I believe that there are people who are like, we gotta sacrifice this bitch, or else we're fucking going straight to hell. We're gonna explode and be taken back to Satan, right? Like, I was just like, I totally feel like this movie could be a fucking documentary at this point.
Yeah, like
I believe the rich could believe this.
yeah, I mean I am not going to be shocked if in Ready or Not, Here I Come, if like the whole new compound that they are on, like
Hmm.
I'm not going to be surprised if that's on an island, like
Yeah, literally Epstein Island. Well, it sounds like that one's like there's this whole interconnected network of families, which is going to be so exciting. But I think the coolest thing, we'll talk about the end. We'll talk about the sequel kind of more towards the end, but I just think like this movie didn't need a sequel, but like the fact that they're giving us one and then what the trailer promises is just like, yes, thank you, please, more. I'm honestly surprised because this movie is like, I feel like maybe it wasn't as popular when it came out, but like it's gained such an audience over the years.
yeah.
Like it's become really like just a really strong movie that people have seen, and now people know it really well.
Yeah, and it's funny, and maybe it's just because like COVID happened not long after this movie came out. Like this came out in August 2019, and then COVID happened, 6-ish months later and consumed the entire world. And but like I don't ever remember hearing about this movie. But then like I looked it up, and first off, this movie was on a budget of $6 million. This does not look like a low budget movie
No, it's
at all.
incredible.
Like
I know. I was thinking the same thing when I was rewatching it for this. I was like, I mean, I've seen this movie a million times, so it's
yeah.
crazy. But like this time it really hit me. I was like, everything about this movie does not, nothing, literally nothing screams low budget to
Yeah,
me.
there's nothing cheap about it. It's filmed
The
on
house,
set.
the fucking gorgeous, like the location, everything.
It's got actors that we know of. Like this is Samara Weaving's like coming out party, but like it's got
Hmm.
other people. That's like, oh,
Adam Brody
Adam Brody, I
and
know him.
Andy McDowell, which
Yeah.
she's the mom, and I don't know if you know whose mom she is in real life, but Margaret Qualley is her mom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or sorry, she's Margaret Qualley's mom. That's the opposite.
Yeah. And
Anyways.
and so it's like, yeah, I'm just like, this movie looks incredible. And so
Oh, are you talking about
not
the newest one? Sorry, you're
no no
talking
no,
about the
I'm talking
sequel.
about the original.
Oh, okay, so this is okay. When you said this movie looks incredible, I thought you were talking about because we were talking about the cast, and I was like, I mean, they upped it for the sequel. Am I right?
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
added
Oh yeah.
so
This
many more people.
I'm excited for the
Yeah,
sequel to see. Like I don't know what the budget is for it, but it's
it's
got to
the
be more.
higher.
It's got to be more than double. It's got to be like
Yeah.
closer to 20 million. But like
Hmm.
for and this is like it's like this is a pretty new director duo. Like
Yeah.
they've done a lot of just small projects, and this is still kind of a small project. But this movie did 57 million
Yeah.
globally. So like it was a big success. Like a
So I'm
very
surprised we didn't get a sequel before now.
I think it has to be because of the Scream franchise, because they did Scream 5 and 6. Like
Yeah,
that
you're
has to
right.
be why.
Because Radio Silence, that's the directing duo. Yeah, they went on to do those. Now they're doing a Mummy reboot, the
Mm-hmm.
Mummy 5 or 4. 4. I can't wait for that. These guys, honestly, and they had already done VHS at this point,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great franchise and still fucking going, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I love this directing duo. I personally think they can do no wrong. Like, I've never seen a bad film that they've made. Everything that they've done, even their earlier stuff, is great. Um, and I just think this movie is like the ultimate thing, probably that launched them to like getting. I know Scream definitely put them on the map, obviously, the Scream 5. But like this movie is probably what got them in the door on those
Oh
things
yeah,
because
because
there's no way.
yeah, they did this in 2019, and then they released Scream in 2022.
Yeah,
So
went right into it.
they probably were already like having conversations for the Scream franchise after
Yeah.
this movie came out, and then COVID hit and kind of delayed stuff. But then as soon as they got the green light to start shooting Scream, they started doing that because then it came out
Yeah.
a couple years later.
That's another reason I'm so mad about Scream 7 because it's not those guys. And if it wasn't going to be those guys, at least it would still be the cast and the same story. And now it's all out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Sony. Anyways, but this movie, I feel like in general, it's very original. Like it seems like from the trailer, it's not going to be a very original story. Like it feels
Yeah,
like kind of like been there, done that. But I
yeah.
find that this movie is like so refreshing for every element of it. And also just like the idea, it sounds ridiculous, but it's like a fine line that they were walking and they just nailed it exactly right where it's not too silly, but they don't take it way too serious. It's
Yeah.
like exactly the right line. Cause like if you were to be like, oh, she has to play hide and seek with her fucking in-laws on the wedding
Mm-hmm.
night and they are trying to kill her, you're like, with no context, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would they do that? But then when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay. And also, the more we've learned of the world, you're like, yes, rich people would do this. They probably already do. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. So that's why I think this movie is just one of the most unique films because it seems like it's not going to be unique, but it is refreshingly very unique.
Well, and it's another example of like we don't always need like totally unique ideas, but
Hmm.
what we do need consistently is really good execution of those ideas. And like,
Exactly, because it's like a fresh spin on it. Like even like with their Scream movies, it's like they still brought something new to the franchise. And
hmm
same with like with Abigail, it's like a vampire movie that's been done to fucking death, and they brought something so new and different
yeah,
and like really refreshing. And their energy, I feel like, is just perfect for like certain things and they just know exactly what they're going to do really well with. I feel like because the mummy is exactly the right material, I feel like, for these guys
yeah,
after like seeing all this. Like this is exactly their vibe. That's going to
yeah.
be perfect.
Like there's nothing about this movie that comes off as like, oh, this is these guys' first, feature
Mhm.
film. Like
Yeah.
this movie feels like a veteran did it. Like someone who
Yeah.
knows what they're doing.
100%. And that's what's crazy to me is that like this was like before they really got going, which is nuts. I mean, they had done VHS 2012, but they only did like the one segment, right? And then
hmm
they did the movie Southbound 2015, and they like produced it, and then they also were like directors of two segments.
hmm So
And so
that
like they'd done that, and they had one movie, Devil's Due, in 2014. But like this is like again, all of that, it's like outside of the like Devil's Due, which is one that they both that the
hmm
two directors they did fully just themselves, but like they'd just done segments before. So it's
yeah.
like way to go with like fucking sustaining a whole entire film. Like this is a like perfectly trimmed feature. Like it's not too long, it's not too short. They literally just the transition is too smooth. It's kind of like the Rocka Rocka guys with
Yeah.
like, how do you transition that well from like YouTube shorts and stuff to like fucking and like skateboard videos to like
Yeah.
fucking talk to me? Like, I have no idea, but I love that.
Yeah. It's awesome. So let's go and just get into it. I mean, when I think of like horror movies, there or really just like any movie, there's a couple things that I feel like you have to do to like really to be like considered a really good movie. And like one of them is establishing just like the world that this is taking place in. There's
Hmm.
some times where people just kind of rush through it, and but it does make a difference. And the fact that like this starts with this super wealthy family and this girl marrying into him, and the whole gimmick is that the family is part of this like game making dynasty.
Yep.
That immediately now makes more sense of like why the
100%.
plot is happening. Why are they playing hide and seek?
Like the family's money and wealth all comes from their board. They're like a board game legacy. And that's like what's amazing is that they just like, that's exactly right. Okay, now I'm already in. Like that was a tiny little thing, tiny little detail, but I'm all in. Like you
Yeah,
got me. That was exactly what I needed to like be okay to understand at least to make the dot like the dots connect, right? Like
yeah,
why the fuck would they play a game like that? And then the fact that like then you hear that like the other spouses, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, I got old maid or like I got checkers or whatever." And so you're like, "Okay, so this is like a normal thing and it doesn't always go bad." But then it
yeah,
just happens to be that she picks the wrong card, which
yeah,
is not her fault cuz the machine picks it for you, right? Mr.
yeah.
LaBelle supposedly the man who lended their ancestor the money,
He,
basically the devil.
he
Um
financed all of their
their board
adventures.
games or whatever. And so I just love the fact that like it's hide and seek and you're like that's of course like I before the movie starts obviously that's what they're going to do, but it's just I love the fact that like the family dynasty and like establishing the world and then also just the family like photo shoots at the wedding I feel like and like all their little conversations just immediately you're like yep I know who these people are. It's like the
Yeah,
Murdoch family or some shit. It
yeah.
like feels like Follow the House of Usher where you're
Hmm.
like okay yeah and it's like you need them to be terrible but what I like is that they sprinkle in some of them who aren't as bad like they have Adam Brody right who's
Hmm.
like actually seems like he might be okay as the brother. And then the mom, who's like, oh, she's sweet. And she actually seems like she's nice, right?
Yeah,
And she's all like friendly with Grace, like, oh, yeah, you're going to be just like me. And they all said the same thing, but I'm still here. And you're like, okay. So maybe like the whole family won't try to kill her, right?
yeah,
But what
and
I
I
love is like I love that they do throw those things in there to make you feel like, okay, so it's not just going to be like literally everybody versus her.
yeah, and the son who's marrying Samara Weaving, he's kind of estranged from his family. So they do a good job of mixing in like it's not necessarily that you are by blood in the family that makes you a bad person. Because like some of the other in-laws, like uh like Adam Brody's wife, like she's the worst. Like
Oh, she's a terrible, full on terrible person. Yeah, there's no redeeming her. But then, and then, like, even, but it's like the sister, Emily, she's
yeah.
obviously just like a cokehead, fucking crack whore, like crazy bitch. She was insane, but I love how unhinged she was.
Yeah.
That actress nailed it. But Fitch is like her husband. I loved him because
He's so funny.
he's so funny, but he seems like he's like kind of a dick, but also like maybe not totally a dick, you know? But enough that you're like he's still like that's the thing is like they're all like not like they're not necessarily like the most evil fucks you've ever seen, but by the end you're still like, oh yeah, fuck all of you though, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and that's one of my favorite things in the entire movie is, so often like in horror movies, like the killer is like kind of like a professional. Like they know what they're doing. They don't make mistakes.
Yep.
No one in this family knows what they're doing. They're
The aunt maybe Aunt Helene, but
yeah,
she's like the closest we have to a classic horror villain in this
yeah,
movie because she's insane, and I love the way that everyone kind of in the family treats her kind of like the guy who is like the gas station like warning guy in Cabin in the Woods. That
yeah,
they're like, oh yeah, he's like takes his job so seriously and he's so like intense and like old school about it. And then they're like, okay, dude. And it's like the aunt is like so creepy. Like she's just like watching them in the room. He's like, Jesus fuck, like what are you doing here? Like just the way that they're like, oh relax, like calm down. She's really funny in her own way that she's never actually being funny. She's just so serious. But like
yeah,
she's the only one that seems prepared for this in any way, which is great because she's got that giant axe. So I'm like, if anyone, she's the only one I believe here who could actually handle herself one-on-one.
Well, and didn't they say that the last time
Well, we see
some
the opening, right?
yeah,
The
someone
beginning.
yeah, someone saw or the last time that someone drew hide and seek, it was her wedding day.
And it was her husband. And
yeah.
that's the flashback that we see at the beginning with like the guy going to the kids and then the older kid's like, he's in here. And you're like, oh, this fucking kid, which is a great setup for what happens for a great moment later in the
Yeah.
movie. But I just love that. Like, so they kind of tell you that already. So you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to see. But it's like, this is why this movie is like the ultimate final girl. It feels like
Oh.
between this and Your Next, like to me at least, of like modern day scream queens or like final girls who are the most iconic. Like Grace is probably the most, just without a doubt. But like, you know, when you watch Your Next, you're like, Erin just fucking like making traps. Like these guys underestimated her. And same with, I would say, this movie. They really underestimate Grace 100%. She's also like from the foster care system. So like,
Yeah.
you really shouldn't be underestimating her survival instincts, I would imagine.
I think Grace gets a little bit more credit because her character was not written as a doomsday prepper. Like in Your Next, they're like, she's like,
She
oh yeah,
doesn't just happen
I
to
grew
have
up
that.
on a doomsday
Or
commune,
like a survivalist
like,
compound. Like my dad raised me this way. It's like, okay, well, that is pretty odd.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, I love that they make a joke of it in the movies too. They're like, well, like, how was I supposed to know that you grew up like fucking crazy?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they would never. But that's why it's a fun movie because it's kind of like, yeah, that would never really, like, that's really rare that you would ever see it. But I love it in the context.
Yeah.
But this movie, you're like, outside of the fact that like yeah she's been raised in the foster system and like she's all alone in the world, I imagine that like they just don't they underestimate her ability to like fucking fight for herself.
Yeah, just
right?
to survive.
Yeah, because they've never had to do that for shit. I
Yeah.
mean, clearly, they're also inept with all their weapons, and that's what's one of the best part. It's almost like that's why it's kind of perfect that these guys went on to Scream. Because one of my favorite things about Ghostface was always this guy's fucking just a regular dude. He's tripping, he's falling, he's getting hit with shit, and that's what I love to see. You never see Jason fall on his ass. You never
Yeah.
see Michael Myers, and when he does. Even if Michael Myers falls off and falls down, like he does that creepy sit up thing.
Yeah.
And like fucking you're like, okay, this isn't funny at all. Like there's nothing funny about this. Whereas like Ghostface falls and you're like, I know you're chasing me with a knife, but that's pretty fucking funny that you just tripped. So that's one of the things I also I just feel like this movie in general just like nails it on all the fronts because again, you can't take anything too seriously. If the family was like trained assassins, you'd be like, oh come on.
I mean, one of my
It's funnier that they don't know what they're doing because they never have to do this. And it's like, oh shit, we got a fucking killer now. I didn't know. We didn't practice. We didn't train.
Yeah, like
It's better.
that's one of my favorite things is like all of their attitudes is more like annoyed that they're inconvenienced that they have to do this.
I know. And like
it's
handing
so
out the
funny.
old weapons.
Like when Fitch is watching a YouTube video on how to shoot a crossbow. I'm just
So fucking good. Because he's like, do you know how to shoot this thing? Like, can we just have a fucking weapon from this century? It's like, but that doesn't even help. I mean, the daughter, Emily, or the sister, I guess, of the main dude, it's like, she is just fucking out of control. Shooting, she kills like 2 out of 3 maids. I love her energy. She's just fucking firing like crazy at the first person that she sees.
Yeah.
And like every time they get mad at her, she's like, doing. It's just like I was like, honestly, this would probably be me in this scenario. If I was given a gun and trying to do, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep killing the help. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? But that's one of the little bits that just works for me. It's like, of course, the rich people would also just accidentally be killing the fucking help the whole night and like not have like given them the night off.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, it's like, why the fuck are they even here?
Well, I mean, probably the most dangerous person in the entire movie is the butler. Like,
yeah,
the butler seems like he is just stone cold sociopath. Like,
yeah, 100%. And like the fact that he's like, especially because he's like, I mean, even in the kitchen when she's like got the shotgun and stuff, and she's like, and he's just like fucking humming like Beethoven. It's like psychopath already. I can tell this guy's a fucking creep, and he just has the right look in his eyes that I'm just like, get like that guy did freak me out more than anybody. I was like, these all seem like inept rich people, right? But again, the butler is the help. So I do feel like they're also more capable, minus the 3 other women who get brutally murdered.
Yeah.
but like he is like the only one that I was like, this guy could actually fucking do shit. And he is the one that I feel like that comes pretty close. But he was honestly just like the fact that they even have like cameras in the house and they're not even using them at first
Yeah.
is really funny. And then they're finally like, fuck it, we're gonna use the cameras. Like we're just gonna do it. We're gonna use all the shit. And it just is great, like seeing how much they unravel at every moment, because it's like I imagine this probably takes like a couple hours max, like anytime you do this.
Yeah.
Right? Like anytime they've done this, like it looks like it was nighttime at the flashback at the beginning. So it feels like to me, this is definitely something that like is very rare for them. So
Yeah, like they
that's what's
have they
even
have to do
better.
it at midnight. They have to
Yeah.
kill him before dawn.
Most people who aren't expecting to be hunted down and murdered would probably like be killed within like 2 to 3 hours max.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and I think the only reason that this happens is because
The son.
the son Alex, he like saves her and then she sees them kill the maid and then she's like, "Oh my God, what?" And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like the element of surprise isn't there because in the opening scene, he's already shot. Like he's been
Yeah.
shot by an arrow and then the kid.
And they already have him, and then she's all upset, like, no, but then they're like, we have to do it. And so it's like she didn't really, but also, hey, that bitch probably could have done the same thing as the son, but she maybe really didn't love him, is the
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, that's one of the things that I like the most about this movie is that like they could do a really basic setup, but the fact that they add some mythology to the whole story and
Hmm.
like if this was a cheaper movie, you know, not as good directors or writers, they would just say, "Oh, our family's cursed and we have to do this." And like that's pretty much it. But the fact that they go through this whole like I love the scene of the dad telling the story of
Yeah.
LaBelle and like the deal that they made and then like
It's so great.
yeah, like it just adds layers and
Plus, you get
I
all the
think
actual like cards and games that they have designed for this, and they have such a great aesthetic that really like fits to what you would imagine. Like it feels like a darker version of like a Hasbro family.
yeah,
It's like what I'm
yeah.
imagining, you know? I mean, who knows? Maybe the Hasbro family is sacrificing people every so often as well, and goats on the off seasons or whatever they say.
But yeah, like I love the whole mythology of LaBelle. And then like yeah, once we learn that they're trying to kill her, or I guess once she learns, then we start learning more about it. It's like the family fully believes if they don't do this, the whole family is dead. And
Hmm.
so then the whole movie, we're just sitting there like we're like with Samara Weaving. We're like, nothing is gonna happen. Why are you guys falling for this?
We're literally like, you guys are fucking insane. And that's like the best part is that none of us expect it to be real, because you're like, that would honestly like I also thought that initially, because I was like, that would be the funniest ending. Just this
Yeah.
like, oh sorry, whoops. It's like, well, I guess we better kill you anyway, just so you don't tell the police. But it's like that's what I assumed we were going for. So I love the fact that like, but I think the one thing that only makes me question it, and this is why I love it, is like the fact that like the way that the cards are designed, the way he tells the story, and like all this stuff, it feels almost a tinge of supernatural to it.
Yeah,
So that
the
kind of kept
card
me
in the
going.
box and then the card coming
Yeah,
out, it's like
that it just happens to be this
yeah,
card
I was like
again when he's like actually in love with her and like at risk of not being like Satan's, fucking slave
yeah.
forever or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like that card thing. I was like, okay, so there's a little magic trick in
At
here,
least you
but
think, but you're not
yeah,
sure. And that's why I like it, because they do a lot that like, and your rational mind would be like, there's no fucking way that this is a thing, obviously. And this movie is like great because it feels like it's leaning towards not supernatural
yeah,
anything. And that's why I love it, is because even if it wasn't, it would be a fucking wonderful story and satire regardless. But the fact that it is, it's just a little bit funnier, and then like just it makes it that much better, I think.
yeah, like the whole story of LaBelle and stuff, like it sounds very like folklore, like
I mean, it's
children's
like,
story,
yeah,
you know,
it's of
like
course, it's always the it's like the exact, I forget what they call it, like the monkey's paw, right? Or it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's always the thing of like any story with Satan or the devil. It's like he calls himself whatever the fuck he wants, but like he'll offer you something in exchange for something. It's never a fucking one-way deal, or it's always a one-way deal. It's never actually like self-beneficial to anybody except for him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like that's what I love about like the whole concept of this is like I just don't know if I could ever get there where I'm like, hail Satan. I love Satan, honestly. If I was gonna pick a religion right now, probably Satan. But I feel that like Satan, I'm like, it just feels like what a crazy thing. Like for most people, it's like you want the reward of heaven, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like Satanists suppose, I mean, who knows? I'm not deep diving into the religion, but it feels like you're just like banking on I'm gonna have a great fucking life and then eternity in hell.
Yeah.
That just feels like you don't know that the fucking table's one-sided here. The deal, like that's the number one sign to me is like I just don't think anything is worth an eternity in fucking hell. That's all, and that's why I love it. Maybe I guess that's what rich people feel. They're probably
Yeah,
already there.
greed.
That's honestly.
Yeah.
It's greed, but that's the thing. It's like, so I would probably be rejected by Mr. LaBelle as well, because it's like, if that doesn't sell you on it, like, you have to not worry about that and only be concerned about the right here and now and how much can I have and as much as possible and more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and honestly, with the wealth that some fucking families have, and like I mean, straight up, if you're a fucking billionaire, like you're not a good person. You've definitely fucked people over to get to where you are, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what this movie literally is about of like there's no way to be at the top without literally sacrificing people below you in order to stay there and to get all that
Yeah.
and to have it and to not instead of like sharing it, right? We could all
Mhm.
share it and everyone would be fine. Even if you shared part of it, you would still have enough for 5 lifetimes. But whatever. That's what I like about this movie is that it's like a really fun way of making a very smart and valid point that is
Yeah.
more relevant every day about the rich. And that's why it's like, I guess you're right. I just never thought about how much like if you're just a fucking greedy asshole, like who cares about hell?
Yeah.
I guess. Fuck.
and and those people also like think that they will live forever, or they'll figure out a way to get around the consequences, like, or they'll buy a way to get like there's always an out. They think that they're bulletproof, but not with Mr. LaBelle. But
Not with Mr. LaBelle, I guess. But I mean, he drives a hard bargain. That's the thing. That's the one thing that everyone should know about the devil, man. It's like, you better fucking deliver, because if you don't, bad news, man.
yeah.
I don't know if they were just banking on living forever, but anyways, sorry.
Well, we got to talk about Samara Weaving, and we also got to
Yes.
talk about the dress. 'Cause
Yes, okay. The
the-
dress is iconic.
It's iconic, and it also like it's such a good imagery of just like how insane this story gets. Like starts off pretty nice.
The stages of the dress is
Yeah.
a real thing, and I love that about this movie. It goes through so many stages, and the continuity is pretty incredible too.
And then she has that one time where she looks at herself in the mirror and she's like, fuck. She's got like the shotgun bullets and
Yeah.
like everything's
Like,
torn up.
She's got a shotgun. She's got the Chuck Taylors on.
Yeah.
She's ripped off the bottom half of the dress, and she's like, I mean, an hour ago, I thought I was just going to be playing hide and seek with the family. And then
Yeah.
it's like, now it's life or death. Like, I love the fact that she's fucking freaked the fuck out, but she really rises to the occasion. And this is like, I read that Samara Weaving before this, like she had done the Ash versus Evil Dead TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And she had never screamed before in her life. Because most people don't just like scream, right? For fun.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've heard from like other people when they're like any person in a horror movie, they're like, the first time I did it, I was like, wow, that's what I sound like. Because you never know. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a good point. But hers is so fucking incredible that she's like the first time she screamed was on the Ash versus Evil Dead. And she was like, holy fuck, that came out of me. And like everyone on the set stopped and like applauded. And I was like, I feel like they knew. They were witnessing the birth of the new final girl of horror.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate scream queen has arrived. I feel like that's exactly what her scream and she really deserves. But like her scream is probably the most iconic scream I've ever heard.
It's a pretty wild scream. Like it's almost a squeal. Like
It's like a It's
yeah,
like
it's like
vibrating, and I love it because
it's got like
it sounds real.
it's got like a battle cry element to it.
It
Like
sounds like a
it's
goat also like being
yeah,
murdered or
yeah,
something, and you're like, Jesus. Like that's why it's so raw and realistic that it feels like perfect for this movie. Because she's also feels like a defense, like she's a defensive animal at certain points. Like she's just trying to fucking stay alive, and everything's trying to murder her.
yeah.
So it feels very on point. I know it's her like scream because she's done it multiple fucking times throughout multiple films now, but like it honestly is like if you didn't ever do that again and it was just for this film, fucking perfect. Like it
Yeah,
really is the perfect scream for this movie.
yeah.
But she is just like I don't think I've ever fallen in love with someone as fast, besides maybe Florence Pugh, but like Samara Weaving. I think
Which
her and Florence Pugh are the two that I just like instantly was like, I would die for them.
yeah,
I would do anything for them. They are amazing. And then when I heard her accent, like, get the fuck out of here.
yeah,
Because she's,
yeah.
of course, Australian, even more beautiful.
And I mean, another crazy thing about this movie only being $6 million is like this movie looks so like the gore in this movie looks great. Like people getting shot in the head and not dying and like just like choking on their own blood and
I
like
mean, the fucking maid getting, like, fucking caught in the dumbwaiter. Like, I
oh
was like,
yeah.
Jesus. And it's just, like, it's great how, like, quick it, like, I mean, I feel like, honestly, some of the more graphic moments are with the maids. Like, at
Yeah.
least it's like they're either shot in the face or it's like she's, like, got, like, she's gurgling and they have to,
Yeah.
like, kill her again. Like, Jesus, fuck.
The grandma comes in and just uses the axe.
But it's funny because like there's so much gore and a lot of it in this movie is like so really fun. But like there's a lot of it, and I think it's all because of Samara Weaving's performance
Mhm.
that really gets under my skin no matter how many times I've watched it.
Yeah, like the
The
barn scene with the kid.
oh God, when she gets shot in the hand, that's like I mean, these directors obviously, you know, the opening of Scream 5 is like Jen Ortega gets it in the hand really
Yeah.
bad. They love to fuck up hands. That's like a new thing, I think, in horror movies, but I digress. Either way, that was bad enough with just the shot in the hand, but the fact that she punches the kid afterwards makes it worth it. Like
Yeah.
the ultimate moment, first
Like
of all.
that's another prime example of just like hilarity
Yeah.
in this movie where she punches the kid in the face and then she's like, "You little fucker!" Like
Yeah, because it's like, but it's great because it's like I said earlier, like that's a setup from the beginning of like when she's like, oh, thank God it's the kids.
yeah,
We're like, oh, we already know these kids are probably evil too, man. They
they
start
are
them early.
indoctrinated.
And this kid is more evil than the ones at the beginning, which are the two brothers when they were kids. But this one fucking shoots the bitch. I was like, all right, this kid is a little bit much. Like that was pretty bold. And then the fact that like after she punches him, she gets the ghost scare or the jump scare from the goat,
Yeah,
which is just perfect. And then she falls into the goat pit, which is
yeah,
also filled with bodies and like the most disgusting. It feels like they upped it in Abigail when they made Catherine
yeah.
Newton fall into this thing. But I'm like, these guys just love throwing these bitches into something disgusting. I'm curious what they do in the sequel, but like that was disgusting enough. Then she's crawling out. And like the fact when her hand goes through the nail, when
Oh,
the
they
nail
show
goes through
the
the hole in her
nail.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah,
They show the nail well
a-
before.
Yeah, and it's like that scene in Pearl when the guy's walking through the barn and you see the nail sticking up, and you're like, "Oh, we're gonna
Oh,
watch
in
this
X.
guy." Oh yeah,
Yeah.
X. We're gonna watch this guy step on this nail. It's like
Mhm.
that, and
Whenever you see that, and this one feels more torturous though, because it's like a long wait. It's I guess X is kind of like that. I'm thinking of two of like a quiet place where like you see that
Yeah.
early in the film, and then like way later you're like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
forgot. Fuck. This one is like they don't give you a second to forget because as soon as she starts climbing up, they show it, and
Yeah.
then when she gets up there, you're like, okay, she's on, but then it's like she's falling. The fucking ladder broke.
yeah,
Puts the hand up, and just the fact that it goes through. I read that it was CGI, the nail and all that stuff. Obviously, they didn't really put a hand through her, or a fucking nail through her hand, but they said it was CGI, and they weren't sure if they could really sell it based on like the CGI. But that they, after her performance, they were like, okay, yeah, that's believable, and that's
Yeah.
why it's like. I know it's CGI, but it fucking gets under my skin in the same way when she's like going through the gate and she's like
Mhm.
scratching
Oh
herself.
yeah,
It's like there's little moments like that that are not gory, but they're like ow, like you just feel them on a
Yeah.
more personal level.
Yeah, like they're not fast, like they're slow. Like when
Yeah.
she's climbing through the gate and there's just slowly cutting her. It's like, oh God.
It's like so painful. I'm like, I love the fact that there's like little, those are the most painful moments for me watching versus like people fucking exploding. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's like people getting like beaten, like fucking with something. And I'm like, that's great. Not scared, not gory, not upsetting. But then just that little moment. And it's her performance, I think, is the reason. She's just better at selling pain than anybody else in this fucking movie.
Well, and like when we talked about Borderline from last
Yes.
year, like she has incredible comedic timing.
Oh,
And
she's so funny.
like the when she climbs through the gate to like get the car's attention and the car just drives off and then she just pauses and she's, what the fuck is wrong
Wrong
with
with
you?
you. It's so good. And then she just like yells, "You fucking asshole, piece of shit, little tiny dick licker, fucking asshole, fucking die!" Ah! And, like that just feels so real. I like feel like I pulled up that quote, by the way. I don't know if I heard. I wish I fucking did, but that is like so real. I yell that to myself like every so often. Just like the just you fucking shit, little tiny dick licker, fucking asshole, fucking die. Like it's just, it feels good. And the scream is like, ah, like it's guttural, you know?
Yeah.
Like she really, it's just so excellent. I feel like her comedic timing is really like, I feel like obviously she's an ultimate scream queen, but she really is funny. Have you watched the Babysitter movies by chance?
No, you've told me about him.
So she's in those, and like the first one, she's like kind of a villain. So it's
hmm,
fun because she's also really funny. And then the second one, she's kind of actually more of like her kind of a little bit, or she's like a
yeah.
little nicer. But she's honestly so fucking funny in both of those movies. The first one's really great. The second one's good, it has Jenna Ortega, but
Hmm.
whatever. The first one is really iconic, and she's before that she's like so funny, and then she becomes like the villain, and she's still funny. It's just she's great, and she could honestly like that movie. I was like, okay, so she could do both, right? She could be the perfect like fucking hero that we're rooting for, and then she can also be like, God damn, that bitch is hot and hilarious, but she's a fucking bitch, right? She
Yeah.
needs to die, and
Yeah.
I love the fact that she could pull off both, but. I just think she needs more films just revolving around her. Like I love
Hmm.
that I think it's funny because Margot Robbie and her were like compared a lot as how similar they look. But then when you see them in Babylon together, you're like, they don't really look that much alike at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
It's really just like the big blonde hair and very like defining eyes, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And then
100%.
like
But
yeah, if you look at them side by side, it's like at a glance they kind of look similar, but then
yeah,
like when you do look at them, you're like, "Oh no, I see the differences." They're
yeah,
also
but
both Australian, so
exactly. There's so many things, but I really just like I love Margot Robbie. I still think she's incredible. But I'm also like, God, I wish Samara Weaving was in as much stuff as Margot Robbie because I think Samara Weaving is just a really interesting actress. And I think she's like she just needs to be a bigger star than she already is. And she's a star. Like people know who she is. They love her. But like she should be I want her to be bigger than she is.
well, and we've talked about like Margot Robbie. We love Margot Robbie, but
Yeah.
she she's in too much stuff. She needs to take a break, let
Yeah.
Samara Weaving, get some of
Thank
that.
you.
I'm like, Margot, are you okay? Like, are you running from something? You were working nonstop. Like,
This is exactly the same thing that we were talking about with Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, and we all know how that turned out. Okay.
yeah.
So she definitely was running from him. And that's probably why she was working so much. It was like, she's still in stuff. I'm like, okay, she just kept it going. But she was like, I'm ready for a divorce. I'm working all the time. We're like, okay. So who knows? I mean, I feel like Margot Robbie just had a kid. She's married. Who knows? But maybe she's just like, maybe she takes a break. She's producing and stuff. I honestly feel like wouldn't it have been great? I mean, I haven't seen Wuthering Heights yet, but like Samara Weaving would be wonderful in that role. Just saying, she's a little younger too. Also, because that was like people's big one of some people's concerns. But I just think I agree with you. Like Margot Robbie's incredible. She should be in more stuff. Like her performance in Babylon, the way that she cries,
Yeah.
controls it so well. She's a fucking amazing actress. But like we get it. We also know. We know it doesn't need to be that much. Take a
Yeah.
cue out of like not Daniel Day-Lewis. That's like every
Yeah.
7 years. That's a bit much. But like, just a year off, maybe. Maybe just one to start. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Maybe do one movie a year instead of
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I'm sure that like if you're getting offered all this shit, like you want to fucking do everything. I'm sure like Samara Weaving, if she just gets offered everything, she'll be like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But like I just think she deserves the moon and all everything in the universe. So
Well,
I want the best for her.
and we all do, and hopefully she gets it. But before we get to the ending, I just had to I wanted to shout out one of the funniest scenes, and this is all the directors. The car crash where the family is watching from their phones, like,
Yes.
and they're just like, oh, like,
Because they're like trying to yell to the fucking butler again, and
Yeah.
he's just like again with his Beethoven, and it's just like blasting, like turn the fucking music down, you idiot. I love the fact that he's just so like oblivious, and then she's just like her face is like, oh, I got this. It's
Yeah.
like just the legs, and they're like, no, so good, and then just like the 360 crash, just
such a good little sequence of the car
just so
tumbling.
fun.
Looks great.
I can't decide. I feel like every time I watch this, like different scenes stand out to me as like the funniest overall. But like for me, I think it's still gonna be the ending scene is my favorite. It's just the funniest all over the place. But like there's just so many little moments throughout the entire film. Like there's never a slow moment. Every single thing is funny. And I love the fact that like Adam Brody is in this movie, right? And he plays the older brother. And this is just funny to me because I don't know how many horror movies he's been in, but like I know of Jennifer's Body that he was in, where he also killed a girl to sacrifice to Satan in
Oh, I
order to
forgot
like
about
become
that.
famous and rich, right? Really funny because that's like exactly what he's doing, his family's doing here, but he's the actual good one. I just thought like maybe he's getting typecast. That's like his thing now. But
Is he one of the bad ones in Promising Young Woman?
oh, yeah, I think so. Yep. So yeah, he's
I've got-
is there any good ones in Promising Young Woman?
That's valid.
I don't think any of the guys are the good ones in that one. Bo Burnham is the closest, and then you still are betrayed because he's the secret bad one. You know, he's a fake good one. So there's no good ones in that movie as far as I'm concerned. But no, I think like he's just it's funny to me that those are the two like horror movies I could think of with him, and like they both happen to deal with sacrificing a woman to a cult
I was looking through his IMDb to
or to
see
Satan.
he's a deputy in Scream 4, but I don't
Oh yeah,
rem-
fuck, I forgot.
I
He's
don't-
with
I don't-
Anthony Anderson in the car talking about like cops that die in movies, and then Anthony Anderson gets the the knife to the face.
Okay.
He's like, "Fuck Bruce Willis, man." 'Cause they're like, "Cops always die in these movies unless you're Bruce Willis." So
God.
yeah, okay, he's been in that, but like outside of those two, he's really like this is his thing. But I just love him in general. I was happy to see him in this movie, and also like he's just a great guy because I think he's a great actor. He could play like a smarmy asshole
Yeah.
or a really nice guy who you actually believe, similar to kind of Justin Long
Yeah.
in that
Like,
way. But
Sarah loves him in Nobody Wants This.
oh, I haven't watched that, but all I've heard is that he's just like the dream in that.
Yeah. It's a good show. But yeah, she loves him. So
I mean, I've loved him since the OC,
Yeah.
like forever. He's amazing. Even from Gilmore Girls back in the early days. So,
Oh, yeah,
but
I
yeah,
forgot.
honestly,
Forgot he's
like
in that.
I just love this movie for like I think it's one of my definitely like my letterbox top 4. Like this is a top 4 film for me. I've probably watched it as much as like not as much as The Thing, but like almost. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the first movies I bought like on demand. I was like, I need to own this film. Like I need to watch it a lot. And this is like, and it was like right after I watched it the first time. Like I was like, I'm ready. I
Yeah.
know, I'm committing.
Yeah, and like this movie it's so rewatchable. Like it's not super heavy. Like
No,
like
it's hilarious.
this and Midsommar came out in the same year, and like both of them very rewatchable in their own right. But like Midsommar's got a lot of weight to it. It's got a lot of
Yeah.
heavy shit going on. And
Sometimes though, it's
if
like
you
my
just-
happy place.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm a fucked up person. I'm like, that's the same reason. I'm like, I put on The Thing just to feel all cozy and warm inside.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most disturbing horror movies. But like this movie just has like the best like. I mean, I'm just thinking of like random quotes that I think of in this movie. It's like, "Don't be a bitch, Fitch. You got this, Fitch. Don't be a bitch, Fitch." Dumb, but it's just like it's just great shit. Like I think this would be a movie that like you could almost show anybody and they would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially now with the Epstein files in the world being just controlled by fucking rich assholes.
Yeah,
This movie is really honestly very relevant.
yeah, this is a great gateway horror movie. You know, like
It
to
really
get it
is.
like because it's fun, it's scary, it's not too scary.
But like
There's a lot of laughs.
yeah. There's really the scariness is not even more like it's not played for like a really tense jump scare or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like literally the gore would be the
Yeah.
horror element of it. But it's like crazy how to me, like we said, the tiny little things that aren't even gory are the ones that affect you the most. The bigger ones that should be more disturbing are tend to be like very light and fun. And that's
Yeah.
what's very different about this compared to, like you said, Midsommar.
Yeah.
The deaths in there don't get very fun.
So the one thing that I was gonna ask you about, because on initial watch, I didn't connect the dots on this, and so I thought it was kind of a cheap or kind of a miss or something. But the motivation for Alex to
Mm,
turn on Samara Weaving, like when I
interesting.
when I first saw it, I didn't totally get it, and maybe it's because I was watching it on a plane. But on the rewatch, like I was like, oh, he was good. Like he actually was a good person. He loved her. He wanted to be with her. The reason for the him turning heel is when he asks her like, are you going to leave me even if we
Yeah.
survive this?" Cuz he didn't believe in the curse. Like
Yeah.
he
But he
was
kind of did because that's what the mom is like. You definitely still kind of did, or else you would never have brought her here and like let her draw that card.
yeah, yeah,
Like
there's a
you, because it's
little bit,
like
but like he was ready to like run away several
he
times
is.
in the
Yeah.
movie. He's like, and I think it was she wanted to include the family also. Like he's kind of estranged from them, but like she's like she was in the foster program, so like she didn't really have a family and she like wanted to be a
Which
part of
is,
his family. And
yeah.
so when he realizes that, oh, even if I do save her, she's gonna like turn us all in. Like we're fucked. That's when it's like, oh, the greed gets him there because he's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to lose everything, and so then he turns heel. That made way more sense on rewatch. The
I still
initially
think
that
he's
kind of
not a
missed.
good person overall. I don't think he is. I think he's a bad, rich asshole at heart, and he just remembered who he really was at the end. Because, like, I think this is what's cool about this movie is like, I wonder if like maybe she could have saved him from the curse if he really did let it like himself be with her, and like you
Hmm.
said, but like that's why I was wondering if maybe that's why like at the very end he doesn't fully die until she throws the ring at him and says I want a divorce. Like maybe that's why like that was his one possible, but I
Oh, like
think
they die in order of.
I don't know, but like I just thought like maybe it was like that's why he's the last to die and it kind of waits a longer is like he literally dies when she like is like I want a divorce. So I was like maybe that was because that was like hinging on the bail being like hey maybe he'll ditch, but I feel like that still doesn't really hold true because the devil would never let you out of a deal. But what I think is actually the case is like I think what they say is like earlier on or something, the aunt says that like Mr. LaBelle like revealed himself to Alex as a
Yeah.
kid because they said that they thought that Alex was supposed to lead the family. That's what they thought.
Hmm.
And so it makes sense that Mr. LaBelle would have known or maybe showed him to himself and because he knew that like even if he did bring someone like this home, he would ultimately still side with his family in the end.
Yeah.
So like it's like either way, I think you're right that like I think maybe he could have made a different choice and something would have ended differently. But I also feel like maybe it's kind of like he was always going to do that no matter what. And like
Yeah.
Mr. LaBelle just knew. And that's why it's like, I think it's interesting that like that's how Mr. LaBelle chooses who has to die because it's like whoever he can't control, right? Or
Hmm.
whoever he can't manipulate,
Yeah.
basically. That's how it is. But this ending scene when they all like are like like they're trying to kill her, then she gets out of the like off the table, and then they realize it's fucking the sun's up, and they're all like scared of the light was so fucking funny because it's like, ooh, they're all like, oh, nothing's happening
Yeah.
actually, and they're like, and he's like, I knew it was fucking right. And then it's like, the dad's face is so good because he's like, wow. I mean, sorry, like, oops, like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Like, this is just what I've been told. And it's so fucking funny. Just like that moment, you're like, okay, so that's the twist, right? That's kind of where we were talking about earlier was like, okay, so it's not going to be supernatural.
Yeah.
So the fact that like they let us have that little pause and then even the aunt's like, the girl still dies. Like,
Yeah.
and like fucking explodes. Incredible. And then like the fact that like it just keeps going. I think my favorite before like the ultimate one with the husband is the kids and the mom, the
Yeah,
sister
they run
who
out the
runs out.
door.
And then like the three little fucking the little air puffs after the fucking explosions of like blood is just so well done. Honestly, the sound is great. The idea of them just exploding, like when they mentioned earlier about how like they're like, I thought that they all just died in a house fire. It's like, oh, that's what the press told you. But it's like, so you're like, I have no idea what the fuck like their ultimate demise was going to be like, but did you expect? I never expected exploding. That was
I
incredible. That was
I
amazing.
this ending is one of my favorite endings of any movie. Like
All time, agreed. It's an all-timer ending.
it's also one of my favorite watching experiences because like I mentioned, first time I watched this was on a plane. And so
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my chair watching the movie, having a good time, and Sarah is next to me and she's like on her phone or reading a book or something. So she's not listening, she's not watching the movie. So she looks over and sees people dying every once in a while and she's like, oh, horror movie. But then I'm watching the ending and the people are just exploding and I'm giggling. And then I turn and I look at Sarah and she just has the biggest eyes and she's like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? She has zero context for what's
Because
happening.
it's like out of just seeing that scene out of nowhere is great because it's like just people exploding. And especially if you don't hear what they're saying, you have no idea, but they just like one after the other. It's like you're just like, I'm sorry, what did I miss? Like,
Yeah.
that's the perfect moment to
And
come
then
into the movie.
and then just like I think it's like after the kids explode, you know, and then all the blood just flies out of the doorway when Samara Weaving starts laughing.
Yes.
It's like
So good.
you have her laughing, you have the music playing, you have the
Yeah, they're
countdown,
ready or not. Oh, yeah,
and
hide and seek music.
it's just it's so funny, and it's just like there it's this weird moment where it's like me and Samara Weaving, I was like, we're bros. We're experiencing this together.
Yeah.
We're both
Her
laughing at the insanity of this.
her enjoyment is like everything to me. Her reaction to the end, and I read that like in the trivia they said that originally they didn't have her reacting that way, but she suggested it and said, "I think I should be laughing because I think they had her more like freaked out or like what the fuck, like terrified." And she was like, "I would be laughing because these are the people who've been trying to kill me all day, all
Yeah.
night." And they're
And
all fucking dying. I would find that hilarious. And
yeah.
I'm like, I'm so fucking glad she did that because that was the move. The fact that she like even like has a snort like
Yeah.
laugh, it's just so good. And she's like, "Don't fucking touch me." The
Yeah.
dad is great because he's like, "No, I did everything right.
Yeah.
I'm not dying today. I'm still in control." And like as he's yelling that, he just explodes. Good stuff. And then the husband be like, "No, see, he saved me." And that whole thing of like, I want a divorce, throwing it at him. This is maybe my favorite ultimate moment though in the movie, outside of like the actual end scene, which I think is still like the most iconic moment. But for me, just a little moment that I really love is right after everyone's dead in there and she's just covered in blood. She's like, Jesus, like, or she's just like, sorry, she's like looking around like, fuck. And then she looks at the chair and like the fire flashes and she sees like the apparition of Mr. LaBelle
Yeah.
and her eyes just go big and then she just looks away like, fuck.
Yeah.
Walks off. I don't know why it's such a tiny little thing, but I find it fucking hilarious because I'm like, that's exactly what you would after
Yeah.
all of that. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like Jesus. And then the fact that she takes the cigarettes from the mom and goes outside and just smokes a cig covered in blood while the house is burning. And like that
Iconic.
amazing mix or like version of fucking the Elvis Presley song
Yeah.
that they have playing at the end. I heard it was like specifically recorded for the movie. It's
Oh.
like it's so good. It's a great cover. And I love it. It fits perfectly. And then like the final ending like line of this film, I think is just like the best one of the best ending lines of all time because it's like, ma'am, are you okay? What happened to you? And then she's just like, in-laws.
Yeah.
And like takes a puff, and you're just like, so fucking
And she's
incredible.
just
Like,
covered in blood, like
she's
just
smoking a cig. This is
had a
literally my
day.
profile. This is
Like,
my
yeah.
profile picture at work and all on like Slack and like
You
fucking
dressed up
my.
as that for Halloween one
I
year.
did.
Like,
I should dress up as it every year or every day, honestly. The more we get into 2026, this picture is like, this isn't going anywhere. This photo is like the vibe for this year. Like, fuck. What else? Like literally just like, fuck. Like,
yeah.
holy shit. And I don't know if you saw this because the new one comes out next week, right?
hmm
Or yeah, I think it does. It comes out the same week as the Oscars.
Oh, nice.
So I watched this little like I think a little preview thing that they put on YouTube, and they said that this one, the sequel, Ready or Not, Here I Come, takes place immediately afterwards. Like it picks up from her smoking the cig on the fucking steps, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what I want, and that's what I need because this is the thing that like obviously we're gonna find this out. So like if we were doing this episode, a year ago, whatever, 2 years ago, we would have. I feel like the discussion we would have ended on would have been, what the fuck happens to Grace immediately after the fucking film ends, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you're like, okay, so
How does she explain this story?
I mean, obviously, this clearly has happened before to some other family, and it was like the house burnt down and that was it. But it's like, is she just like the only, like, so is she inherits everything? I would assume it's all hers now.
Is because
She married.
Oh yeah,
She's-
that's true.
She's the only one left, and she married in. So
Yeah.
she said, I want a divorce, but she didn't actually divorce. So she's still the sole like inheritor, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess technically you're
That-
right. I mean, I'm glad that the direction that they're going in is that this takes place immediately after, and then she immediately gets kidnapped. Because the thing that's not interesting is her talking to the police and having to explain what happens
And going to jail and being
yeah,
like
and,
falsely
like-
accused. Yeah,
like,
100%.
that's not very fun. But the fact that this is now expanded to this larger organization of people who I'm assuming they all have deals with Mr. LaBelle. And like,
Yeah.
because that whole bloodline is now dead. So
Mm-hmm.
so these like can't be relatives.
No, these are
So-
like, it sounds like they're networks of other families within this like larger fucking network who like has I mean, it sounds like literally like every conspiracy theory you've ever heard of, like the underground network of fucking like people, like the few small rulers, or the powerful people ruling the world secretly. This is exactly what it sounds like. And honestly, it seems like that's what's happening in real life too. So perfect.
So it's like LaBelle
not even
is
that crazy.
LaBelle is the head of the Illuminati, and
Yes, exactly.
everything. And he has his own pyramid scheme that he's running. Essentially, it
Clearly.
sounds like.
I mean, literally, it's exactly what it is. I'm so glad that they are following that up. I think it's interesting too, because we talked about this already, but like she's supposedly an orphan, right? She grew up in the foster system, but she's got a sister. And I'm so glad because Catherine Newton is amazing. We loved her in Lisa Frankenstein, Abigail, and fucking Freaky. Not fucking Freaky, it's just called Freaky. But just in case you're like, what the fuck is that? She is so good, and I feel like she's gonna have the exact, like, they're gonna be perfect as sisters. Honestly, I already buy it. So I don't even care what kind of hula hoops we got to get through to have her have a sister somewhere that she never mentioned. But like, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't care. But it's funny. I'm curious how they explain it. That's all. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% with you in that, like, I never thought that this movie needed a sequel. Like, it's
doesn't.
perfect as its standalone thing. But the fact that everyone's coming back and the cast they've added to it,
Sarah
and, like,
Michelle Gellar, Elijah Wood, David Cronenberg, like, fuck, get out of here. How do we deserve this? I mean, honestly, we do, though. We need this pure goodness in our hearts right now after the world. The state of the world, this might actually give me a nice hit of dopamine when we really need it.
all right, I need to play hide and seek after talking all this. I don't know if Sarah is going to be interested, though. Maybe
Not
my
after, I mean,
cats.
unless, yeah, maybe the cats. Cats, honestly, Augie, my dog, that's his favorite fucking game to play is hide and seek. It's like, We played it since he was young. He loves it. He loves for me to go hide, and then he tries to find me, and I love to give him a little jump scare.
Yeah, except when cats play hide and seek, you freak out for a second because you don't know that you're playing. You're just like, "Where's the cat?"
I feel like they're the ultimate players of this game. I would never do it. It was like I would lose 10 years off my life all the time because I don't know that we're playing, and I'm very jumpy. At least with the dog, it's like, I have to, like, I initiate the game. He doesn't, maybe he might, but like, he's not gonna like hide for like 3 hours and then fucking jump out of a closet like at your head height, right? Like a cat fucking would. Those things, they don't fuck around.
Well, it was so fun to revisit this, and I'm so excited for the next one.
Yeah.
But next week, we talked about it before a couple of years ago, and we got to kind of continue this conversation about dinosaurs. So, Renee, what are we watching?
Well, obviously, we're going to be watching Jurassic World Rebirth, which is now streaming on Netflix, and that's the newest one from this past year with
Scarlett
Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and it's like, honestly, a very back to basics. It feels like a part of the original trilogy of Jurassic Park movies, with a little bit kind of in common with the newer ones. But I would say, like, after the newer ones kind of skewed off into like human cloning and shit, and we're like, let's stop this with like Chris Pratt training raptors or whatever. Like, we don't need raptors to be friendly. I feel like people were like, let's not domesticate the dinosaurs, right? Let's make them scary again. And this movie, I think, is like trying to be, it's a bit safer, but I think it's like, for me, this is a pretty like good average like dinosaur movie, especially dinosaur movie. But I would say it fits with like more the theme of like kind of the original Jurassic Park movies where you're like, why the fuck do people keep going to this island?
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'll send people there enough times because I'm always down for more dinosaurs. And like the dinosaurs are probably the best part, one of the better parts of this new movie. So. Yeah.
I mean, with all dinosaur movies, the one thing I say is, as long as I have really good dinosaur action scenes, then I'm happy. And this movie delivers on the action scenes. Story, there's some mistakes that are made, but that's why I'm excited to talk about it, because this movie does have really good stuff, and then it seems like they kind of strayed from the original ideas, that like they just make some odd decisions. But
it is written by the guy who wrote the original movie, the first two. I think actually he also wrote the sequel, David Koepp, who's worked with Spielberg for a very, very long time. So this is like kind of, they're really like, again, trying to make this was a very safe Jurassic Park, Jurassic World film is what they were trying to do. And I think it delivered. And honestly, if you like any of the movies, I think you'd enjoy this too. So. And
the director is Gareth Edwards, and every movie that he does visually, the special effects are amazing. So this movie looks great. So he shows the dinos more than Godzilla in Godzilla. So that's all you need to know, that he actually delivers some fucking creatures. So this will be fun to talk about. This is a good, just casual viewing. It's on Netflix. Throw it on in the background. Enjoy the scenes, especially the river scene, because we're going to talk just a ton about that scene in particular. Yeah, but, honestly, the dino scenes are the best part of the movie, but that's what we're probably going to spend most of the time on, because, hey, there's not much to it. You don't need a lot of reasons to watch a Jurassic World movie at this point, right? I feel like we've given you plenty. So catch that before next week, and we'll talk. I think there's other Jurassic World movies on Netflix, too, so if you get really into it, you can watch them all. There we go. Well, that is it for this week. We'll see you next week on the regular exclusive podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're out here.